Two-step equations, nothing new today, more of the same, just review and getting so that it becomes absolutely automatic. Let's begin with A, B, C, and H on this page, and then I'll do about, I think, 2 on the next one. Remember, there are 2 ways you can solve this. If you want to go ahead and distribute it out and solve it like this, 2x minus 8 equals 2, you can. If you do it this way, you would add 8 to both sides. I want to show you both ways. Then that becomes 2x equals 10. Then you divide both sides by 2. X equals 5. I want you to know you have an option for how to do these, whichever you feel more comfortable. Unfortunately, you don't have many of these today. You've got just this one and then one more on the next page. So you do the one on the next page by yourself, however you prefer. That is using the distributive method. The other method that I've been doing with these is where you decide to cancel out that 2 the 2 times by dividing both sides by 2. I want you to know you can do it both ways. And then that cancels out, and then you're left with x minus 4 equals 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then you add 4 to both sides. X equals 5. So it's 2 ways to do it. With many things in math, especially when you get to the algebraic level specifically, there are many ways to do things, and you can either base it on what's easiest for you or what works best for the specific problems. Anyhow, that's my little speech. I love speeches, apparently. When I do these, I like to rewrite them because that B gets in the way and it makes everything messy. So I don't want this to be on the bottom. Anytime you have a fraction and you have, whatever's on the bottom, if you multiply that fraction by that same thing, it cancels out. Always. You can always do this no matter what. It always works. So you're left with now 12 equals 2x minus 2. Oops, I did not distribute correctly. 4x minus 4. Now, back to where we did before, I could have chosen to not distribute and then divide by 2, but today I'm going to distribute it out because I've done it the other way almost every time. I want to make sure you see that this way works too. So I went ahead and distributed it out. So now I have 12 equals 4x minus 4. I'll add 4 to both sides. That cancels out, and then I have 16 equals 4x. I divide both sides by 4, and then I have 4 equals x, or x equals 4. Down to C and H. This is my variable term, so I'm going to isolate it by subtracting 9 from both sides. I end up with x divided by 2 equals -6. The opposite of divide by 2 is times 2, so I will multiply both sides by 2. That gives me x equals -12. Down to H. As I did on the previous 2, I have a 3 on the bottom. I don't want the 3 on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply this fraction by 3. Isn't that neat? There's all things you can do to algebraic equations to make them simpler. You just have to understand how it works, or how math works. So that cancels out. I have x minus 5 equals 15. I will add 5 to both sides. And then I have x equals 20. Page 9, we'll do 2 samples together. I chose these 2 because they're very similar but not the same. And you solve them in, much the same way, but yet not the same. The difference is this has the x expression on the top. This one has the variable expression on the bottom. With this one, we want to get rid of the divided by 2, so we'll multiply both sides by 2, which of course gets rid of the divided by 2 and leaves us with x minus 3 equals 12. Anytime you have a fraction in an equation, or in any situation, anytime you have a fraction and you want to get rid of the bottom number, all you do, whatever is on the bottom, if it's a number, a variable, an expression, whatever, you just multiply it by that, and then you eliminate it. It's gone. Now I will isolate the x by adding 3 to both sides. I'm left with x equals 15. Down to D. I don't want this on the bottom. I'm the boss. I'm gonna do whatever needs to be done to get it anywhere but on the bottom. Let me rewrite it because you know my handwriting is so much neater than this. Now I will multiply both sides by x minus 2. See? Gone. I wanted it gone, and so I made it gone because I am the boss. 30 equals, this time I think I'm not going to distribute. I'm going to just do it the way that I've been doing it from the beginning in this book. I'm going to rewrite this, and instead of distributing like I did last time, I will undo the times 5 by dividing by 5. So that gives me 6 equals x minus 2. Now I'll add 2 to both sides so that I can get the x by itself. And I get 8 equals x, and x equals 8. You've got the rest. Go for it.